When my aunt moved to Hawaii, I was devastated. She was my best friend. We used to go see scary movies when my mom told me not to. My birthday is on April 19th, and this year I have a special birthday present. I get to visit my aunt in Hawaii for a month. For 3 years, I was anxiously awaiting her when I turned 14. As my birthday approached, I was very excited to fly on the 14-hour flight to Hawaii. My mother, on the other hand, was not very excited. She really did not want me to go at first. I had to convince her to let me go because it would be a good experience for me. But the main reason I was able to go was because of my grandma. She bought me the ticket for my birthday that year. It was April 18th on a cool spring night and I couldn't sleep. I knew it was going to be my birthday tomorrow and I just could not wait to get my ticket for the flight and have it in my hand. Just the sight of the ticket would make me happy, even if it wasn't going to be until July 1st. Despite my anxiety, I was able to fall asleep on the eve of my birthday. I woke up the next morning, looked at my phone, and saw of all the birthday wishes I could ask for. But the best part was going to my grandma's and seeing that she had my ticket in paradise in her hand. I grabbed her and hugged her like there was no tomorrow and thanked her at least 1,000,000 times. I went to my bed that night, happy as can be and awaiting summer time to come. A couple months passed, it was finally summertime. It was just a couple more days until I got to leave for Hawaii. I had never flown on a plane alone before that and it was pretty scared. I didn't know I was going to get lost or kidnapped by a stranger, but another part of me was excited and ready for the adventure. I was finishing up packing my clothes and bathroom supplies for the trip, and my mom walked in and said, "Do you want to go get some snacks for the plane trip?" I was so happy. I picked out everything you could think of, from cookies to fruit snacks. The day finally arrived. I get to leave for Hawaii in approximately 4 hours. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning and started to get ready. I was about to leave and I stopped at the door. I thought to myself, I'm missing something. I looked around the house for about 10 minutes until it hit me. I forgot the one thing I needed, my ticket. I ran to my room, grabbed the ticket to paradise, and went out the door. On the way to the airport, my mom was giving me a talk about not talking to strangers and not to run away. I couldn't even pay attention to her. All I could think about at that moment was the ticket to paradise that was in my possession. I just agreed to whatever she said at the time until she would stop talking to me. We were at the gate from the plane and there was 15-minute wait for boarding, so I could just sit there playing on my iPod. I couldn't even sit still because I just wanted to get on the plane. After about 10 minutes, they called for my boarding process to begin. I ran up there and was the first on line. I gave the representative my ticket to paradise and was on the way. The plane ride was 14 hours long, so I slept for about 11 of them. To be honest, it was the worst plane ride ever. There was too many cranky babies crying and a lot of turbulence. After I woke up from the long nap, I looked out the window and saw the sky blue colored ocean and the lime green grass of Hawaii. When we landed, we were giving all fresh flower leis to wear. I got my backpack and walked off the plane. The warm, moist air hit my face and I was stunned. It felt so intensely invigorating being somewhere other than Michigan, where it's freezing and dreary in the winter and intensely humid in the summer. As I walked to the baggage claim to get my suitcase, I looked at the left and saw my aunt sitting there looking at me. I ran up to her and yelled, "I missed you so much!" As we drove away from the airport, all I could see was glamorous fountains and miles of sunshine. The next day, she took me to the beach near her house. When we arrived to the beach, I took off my flip-flops, dug my toes into the warm white sand, and started walking toward the ocean. We stayed at the beach for about hours until we had to leave for dinner. For about 3 weeks, we did that every day, but some of the times she would take me to this frozen yogurt shop. It was the best frozen yogurt I ever had in my life. This was truly paradise. So the last week I was there, she told me we could do whatever I wanted to do. So that day, we went kayaking to the islands off the coast of Oahu. There, we encountered lots of volcanic rock and lots of seagulls. Little did we know that island was a bird sanctuary. We hiked all the way around the mountain and stopped in the very back of the island. There were 3 different cliffs you could jump off into in the ocean. The first one was about 14 feet above the sea level, the second was about 30 feet above sea level, and the third was about 60 feet above sea level. Of course, she only let me jump off the first 2 cliffs. The last day I was visiting her, I was feeling a little homesick. I was thinking about how I missed my friends and family that I left behind in Michigan. I was missing that chilly weather that Michigan gets sometimes in the evening. I had a nighttime flight, so we went out to dinner in the town to a restaurant called Payway. It was really good, but I couldn't bring my leftovers on plane, so I had to throw them out. After dinner, we drove to the airport to drop me off. On the way there, she gave me $100 for nothing. She also handed me my plane ticket for the ride home. Then, at that moment, I realized that this was a true ticket to paradise.